Judd.
And I'm Jim, and this is the Carry It On podcast, where two old guys talk about music and other things that are important to us.
And we have Karen, our producer, arranger, caregiver, whatever.
Coffee provider.
Coffee provider, yeah.
And we're doing this time not children's songs, but songs that we sang to our children. Some of them are children's songs.
Right. Yeah, and I don't know how. I know you have at least two kids, Judd, but I don't know how many you have.
I've got 3 kids.
Uh-huh.
My oldest is 45, and the others I'd have to do high math to figure out. But the one's about 2.5 years younger, and then the little daughter's a little younger than that.
Cool. And I know you have grandkids too, because I know one of the songs, which I hope you'll do today, is a song that you wrote or adapted for one of your grandkids. So.
Oh yeah, I had forgotten all about that. That's
well,
right.
do that one sometime today.
I've got 2 grandkids, Aya and Makai, and they're in North Carolina, down in near Chapel Hill.
Yeah, I only have one child, a daughter who's 31. So, anyway, and we're gonna sing songs. Do you want to start, or should I start?
Can I do my sort of universal lullaby to start
sure.
with?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll just do that one, and it's got a simple chorus. If you pick it up,
I'll pick it up.
You can sing along. This was
C?
I'm in C.
Yeah. Okay.
And the chords are just C, F, G, and an A minor thrown in every once in a while. And this was I had 2 kids when this song was written, the first 2, and I'd been sort of thinking about it. And then my brother, Harry, my next youngest brother, had his first child, Alex. And when I was holding Alex in my arm, the song came together, and then I wrote it. So I always told him it was for Alex, which it really was. She was and I called it "Lullaby for a Child Who Sleeps Through the Night," which Harry told me is a damn lie. She didn't sleep through the night till she was 12. But
that's my daughter recalled "Little Baby No Sleep" because she woke at least 3 times a night until she was in 4th grade. So.
But Alex now has children, and Alex's husband plays guitar and has learned this song. Sweet dreams tonight, sleep tight, see you again in the morning light. Twilight fades, funny shapes on the window shades. Close your eyes, it's time for your midnight ride. Tuck you into your spaceship bed as you travel the dreams that play in your head. Sweet dreams tonight. Sleep tight. See you again in the morning. Your tiny hands, all the things you can't understand. Your little cries, I swear they bring tears to my eyes. You treasure each moment like a flower plucked in spring. Yet I long for the change that each turn of the earth does bring. Sweet dreams tonight. Sleep tight. See you again in the morning. You're still blessed with incredible innocence in my arms. You've no thought of any you now, all the love I can show, all the things that I lost so many years ago. Sweet dreams tonight, sweet night. See you again in the morning light.
It's a nice song, John.
Nice accompaniment. That was great.
Yeah, cool. Well, I thought of a bunch of songs that I could do, but I'm gonna start with the song that we started to singing Emily. That's my daughter, obviously, when she was still in utero. So we sang, I'd get down by Faith's stomach and sing, and we'd both sing a song, and then we sang it to her, just after she was born. And me more than Faith. Faith was in not quite the good enough condition to do that. But this is actually, it's a song written by Cy Khan, and it's written for John McCutcheon, and I'm going to do a John McCutcheon song, I hope, later as well. But these are two of the most wonderful songwriters, and John McCutcheon plays everything. He plays guitar, banjo. I know him, and I knew him first as a hammered dulcimer player, and a wonderful hammered dulcimer player and a wonderful banjo player. Anyway, it's called "Welcome to the World."
Ah.
Pick me out an old-time song. Sing it right and sing it wrong. Play a tune that's 9 months long. Welcome to the world. I'll take my fiddle and my bow. Play you every tune I know to keep you dancing while you grow. Welcome to the world. We've got diapers by the pail. Mommy's skinny as a rail, got the whole world by the tail. Welcome to the world. Listen to that baby squall. Daddy's nearly 10 feet tall. Lord, you think he done it all. Welcome to the world. In my mind I see you clear, changing through the days and years. Lord, we're glad you're finally here. Welcome to the world. May you grow up proud and strong. May your life be rich and long. May your nights be filled with song. Welcome to the world.
That's a great song.
Yeah, it's a lovely
I've
song.
heard that before. I don't remember where, but
Yeah. Well, and I guess, but I should just say what I'm going to say.
yeah.
I couldn't stand, what Spock's thing on how to raise kids. It's leave your kids cry so
Right.
they'll learn
Not
how to.
Mr. Spock.
Yeah,
Dr. Spock.
Dr. Spock.
I was fogbound once in Christmas Cove on the coast of Maine, and Dr. Spock was the only other boat in the harbor.
That's great. Anyways, he says, "Let your kids cry to go to sleep," and I couldn't do that. Neither my wife nor I could do that. We tried it for about 2 nights, and it was horrendous for us. So I sang her to sleep almost every night until she was in one of the early grades of grade school. So these are the songs that I picked, are songs that I sang to her at night. Anyway, so should I do another one?
Another one? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Let me do this one. This is actually, this one isn't one of the early ones. I have to. Yeah, Capo 1, and it's in D. This is okay. There's the little story in this song. They have all of those books for little kids where they have little snippets of poems and things, and you read through them, and they're nice pictures, and it's really
Right.
great. So we were reading one of those books one night, and I came across this longish poem, and it was about this kid who meets a knight on the road. And I said, Emily, I know a song that's just like that. And it turns out that it actually is the same song. So the song is False Night on the Road. And it's actually a child ballad, which is why I think it was in the book. And it's child ballad number 3. And, you know, Judd and I have talked about other things we're going to do, and we'll talk more about child ballads at some point later in our process here. But briefly, this guy wandered around England and just compiled all of these old songs. And there's, I don't know, 300 and some odd. And if you look at it, he's got like all of these different versions. So there's a version from, you know, I don't even know any of the places in England, but you know, there's that version, and then there's the other version, and then there's another version. So this is a version of child ballad number 3. The other thing is, this is the first song that Emily and I learned to do as a duet. You'll see as we do the song that it's perfect. I can be the false knight on the road, and Emily is the child who's meets this false knight on the road. And the false knight is the devil. So that's, you'll hear in the song.
There are quite a few of those old songs.
Oh,
where
yes.
If you have 2 voices, it really works.
Yeah, and this is one of them. You'll see how it'll work. The version that I know, this is Maddie Pryor and Tim Rose do this version, and so I know this. I mean, I knew this from way back. Anyway, here it is. What brings you here so late? Said the knight on the road. I go to seek my God, said the child as she stood. And she stood, and she stood, and 'twas well that she stood. I go to meet my God, said the child as she stood. How will you go, my land, said the knight on the road. With a strong staff in my hand, said the child as she stood. And she stood, and she stood, and 'twas well that she stood. With a strong staff in my hand, said the child as she stood. How will you go by sea, said the knight on the road. With a good boat under me, said the child as she stood. And she stood, and she stood, and 'twas well that she stood. With a good boat under me, said the child as she stood. Oh, I think I hear a bell, said the knight on the road. It's ringing you to hell, said the child as she stood. And she stood, and she stood, and 'twas well that she stood. It's ringing you to hell, said the knight, child as she stood. What brings you here so late, said the knight on the road. I go to seek my God, said the child as she stood. And she stood, and she stood, and 'twas well that she stood. I go to meet my God, said the child as she stood. I got to say one more thing about this song that I really like. Most songs, when they end on what's called the tonic, which is sort of the main chord of the song. They start on it, so this song starts here. What brings you here so late? So that's the tonic of the song. And most of the time, songs start there and then they end there. And what happens is they go and they get more tension in them, and then they get less tension in them, and then they end up on the tonic. This song does not end up on the tonic. It ends on a it's the fourth chord of the scale, and so it's an ambiguous chord. It's not a restful chord. It's a chord that leaves some tension remaining, and I think it's really cool. And I think that's the reason that I like the song before anything else, is because of that. Anyway, that's a
You know
little
that
version into
Donovan song that I played at the jam the other night.
yeah.
That one also does the tune, neither the melody of the verse or the chorus ends on the tonic, so it's like it could be a never-ending song. You just would keep going.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, you don't, what happens is you don't reach a resolution.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
up in
exactly.
the air. So
Exactly.
it's cool. Anyway,
It's for telling stories.
yeah.
So, my first child, Luke, was diagnosed with leukemia when he was 2.5. And so that occupied life for the next several years with difficult treatment. He's fine now, as fine as Luke is ever going to be. But I had I played music for him because he was slow for a while. He was held back by disease and then by treatment. And I've got 2 songs from that period that I like to play. They're both fairly short songs. This one I would sing to him to try to make him laugh when he wasn't feeling good. It's in E, and you'll pick it out. It's just E, A, and B. My name is Luke Gasty Kendall, and I'm a very good boy. I do what my mother tells me, and I always put away my toys. Some days I just feel ugly, and then you're gonna hear me say, I ain't gonna take that medicine today. I won't take my medicine, 'cause it tastes so bad. I won't take my medicine, it's the worst thing I ever have had. Even though it makes me better, there's just one thing I'm gonna say. I ain't gonna take that medicine today. Well, my mama comes over to me with that stuff in a little cup. She nods her head and she smiles a lot and says, I gotta drink it up. Well, I hold my nose and close my eyes and turn my head away, 'cause I ain't gonna take that medicine today. Won't take my medicine, 'cause it tastes so bad. Won't take my medicine, it's the worst thing I ever have had. Even though it makes me better, there's just one thing I'm gonna say. I ain't gonna take my medicine today. No, I ain't gonna take my medicine today. So I could get him to laugh with that one.
Yeah.
And this is the one that sets out more what the situation was. I'll play it through very slowly once. It's very easy. It's in D starting. that someday this will all be done. Close your eyes, go to sleep, good night. My friend, the moon looks down from the sky, says to me, Luke, please don't cry. Mommy and Daddy are standing close by. Close your eyes, go to sleep, good night.
Nice.
And my other son actually sings that to the grandchildren.
Oh, that's
occasionally,
great.
so
Oh,
it's-
that's you know, generational songs like that are really
Yeah.
really good.
yeah,
Really good. All right.
yeah.
Okay.
Give
So
me another one.
all right. I'm gonna the thing that's sort of weird about I didn't actually sing that many non non-political songs to Emily when she was a kid. Actually, I'll do this one.
It's in her DNA.
It is in her DNA, but I'm going to do this one.
In utero. In
yeah,
utero.
yeah. Well, she was the only. Well, she was born in 1990, and
She was
shortly.
born with a raised fist.
Yeah, well, almost. Right after that, we did the first Iraq War,
Right.
and the 17 of us in Washington County who opposed that. I mean, it was like I knew everybody who opposed it in Washington County. Essentially, we were out protesting when they first invaded, and that was Emily's first protest. It was January whatever, and she wrapped her up, and she was 4 months old. Anyway, this is one of the songs, one of the sort of kids songs that we played, and it's When I First Came to This Land, which
Oh, yeah.
everybody will
Yeah.
know, and it's third fret in G, and so it has, as you'll see, all of these names of things and then something rhyming with it. And so what we did is we sort of added more. So instead of just these, we added, or I added, like dog and cat and I could, kangaroo or whatever I could think of, and trying to make them up. And then you have to remember each one in order. And so Emily would catch me when I missed the correct order. She said, "No, it's dog." No. Anyway, the song, as far as I can tell, I tried to sort of look up where it came from, and it was a Pennsylvania Dutch song, and Oscar Brand translated it and recorded it, I guess, in 1957, and I know lots of people have done this song. Anyway, here's the song.
You're adding to it is what folk music
Yeah,
is
exactly,
all about.
exactly.
And then your version becomes
Yeah, that's right. Well, the verses that I wrote down just so I'd remember them. There was actually one that was added by somebody in the meantime. Anyway, here it goes. It's a nice song, actually. When I first came to this land, I was not a wealthy man. So I got myself a shack, and I did what I could. And I called my shack, break my back. But the land was sweet and good, and I did what I could. When I first came to this land, I was not a wealthy man. So I got myself a farm, and I did what I could. And I called my farm muscle on my arm, and I called my shack break my back. But the land was sweet and good, and I did what I could. When I first came to this land, I was not a wealthy man. So I got myself a cow, and I did what I could. And I called my cow no milk now, and I called my farm muscle on my arm, and I called my shack break my back. But the land was sweet and good, and I did what I could. When I first came to this land, I was not a wealthy man. So I got myself a horse, and I did what I could. And I called my horse Lame, of course. And I called my cow Romeo now. And I called my farm Muscle of my arm. And I called my shack Break my back. But the land was sweet and good, and I did what I could. When I first came to this land, I was not a wealthy man. So I got myself a wife, and I did what I could. And I called my wife Run for Your Life. And I called my horse Lame, of course. And I called my cow Romeo now. And I called my farm Muscle of my arm. And I called my shack Break my back. But the land was sweet and good, and I did what I could. When I first came to this land, I was not a wealthy man. So I got myself a son, and I did what I could. And I called my son My Work Is Done. And I called my wife Run for Your Life. And I called my horse Lame, of course. And I called my cow Romeo now. And I called my farm Muscle of my arm. And I called my shack Break my back. But the land was sweet and good, and I did what I could.
Somehow that reminds me, I haven't played it. It probably would take me a little bit to learn, but the ants go marching one by one.
Oh,
You know,
yeah, I remember that song.
I performed that once because it was actually at the Dadgad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But it was, they all claimed to be folk musicians. So I did that with my son Judd and my daughter Gwyneth. Judd playing drums and Gwyneth playing a ukulele and me playing the guitar. But the rules were we'd all sing the first line, and then one by one we'd go around, and we had to make it up, whatever we remembered or could do. So it was all completely impromptu, and that was
Same idea.
Same idea, right?
Yeah.
And you have to remember. I'll do a funny one.
Okay.
Okay. This is one I used to play for the kids, and I got invited in. I think Judd was in kindergarten, and I got invited. He brought me for show and tell. Okay.
That's great.
With the guitar, and this song is called "Mama Don't Allow," but I did "Teacher Don't Allow." Okay, and it went over really well with the class. I won't do all the verses I sang, but I'll do some. Teacher don't allow no guitar playing around here. Teacher don't allow no guitar playing around here. We don't care what teacher don't allow, gonna play that guitar anyhow. Teacher don't allow no guitar playing around here. And that went fine, and so then we went to teacher don't allow no hand clap around here. Teacher don't allow no hand clapping around here. We don't care what teacher don't allow, going to clap our hands anyhow. Teacher don't allow no hand clapping around here. And at this point, the kids were starting to realize they had permission to do something. It was sort of like, Donald Trump gives us permission, we can go do anything we want. So they were clapping their hands, and then we did, teacher don't allow no foot stomping around here. Teacher don't allow no foot stomping around here. We don't care what teacher don't allow, gonna stomp our feet anyhow. Teacher don't allow no foot stomping around here. At this point, the teacher was sort of turning a whiter shade of pale. The kids were just going at it. There were several more verses, and I can't remember all of them, but I do remember this one. Teacher don't allow no crazy dancing around here. Teacher don't allow no crazy dancing around here. We don't care what teacher don't allow, going to crazy dance anyhow. Teacher don't allow no crazy dancing around here. Now at this point, the kids were all up. It were wagging their heads, flailing their arms, falling on the floor, jumping up and down. The teacher didn't know I think she'd sat down, but the principal came running down the hall, and I was never invited back. We finished off. Teacher don't allow no guitar playing around here. Teacher don't allow no guitar playing around here. We don't care what teacher don't allow. Gonna play that guitar anyhow. Teacher don't allow no guitar playing around here. So that was my show and tell.
That's great. That's great. Well, there are a lot of. Did you ever hear of? Do you know Barry Louis Polisar? Have you ever heard of him?
I have, yes.
He does these, these crazy kids songs. Don't put your finger up your nose.
Yeah.
I never actually learned that one, but we used to play those every once in a while, and Emily liked them too. They weren't bedtime songs.
Did you ever know Rick Charette?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He played around here, didn't he?
Yeah. He was in Portland based or somewhere down there. Mud, I love mud.
Yeah.
We took the kids to one of his concerts, outdoor concert in Deering Oaks. Thousands of children. They all greeted him like a rock star when he came on. It was just the coolest thing. Let me play one short one.
No.
And this is an instrumental. But I never wrote a song with words for my second son, Judd, because a lot of focus. He was born within 2 months when Luke was diagnosed with leukemia. So the focus was on Luke, and as slow and careful as Luke was, Judd was all over the place. He was a great child, but we called him Jumpin' Juddy. And so one night, his mother Cindy and I went to a Celtic concert. I think it was an Irish concert, and the sort of Irish music. You learn these intricate tunes, and then you play them with incredible speed and precision over and over again, basically. And I love it, but it all sort of sounded the same to me after a while. So I came home and wrote Juddy's Jig, and I have never dabbled in Celtic music again. And let me see if I couldn't do one of the reasons I don't play Celtic music is because I can't play the notes that fast.
Right.
So I'm about 50% on this one.
That's good, Judd.
That was
fun, at least.
It was fun, and then I've never dabbled in Celtic music.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna sing Tom Paxton's song.
All right.
What did you learn in school today? And which I know you know.
Oh yes.
So if you wanna, it's in G, capo 3. So this song I sang for Emily shortly after she started grade school. So she's in first grade, and I had to explain sarcasm and irony to a first grader because of this song.
It's a teachable moment.
It is a teachable moment, and I remember saying, not everything that they tell you in school is true. And unfortunately, she always was a great student, but she has her own mind and had her own mind, and I think that actually that was the beginning of her distrust of academia, was me singing her this song and teaching her about sarcasm. Anyway, this is What Did You Learn in School Today? It's Tom. Did I say Tom Paxton already?
I think so. Yes.
It's interesting. The three songs that I'm going to play. I did the Icon song, so this is Tom Paxton. I'm going to do a John McCutcheon song later, and there are three of the nicest songwriters and players of sort of my era of learning songs. Anyway, this one is Tom Paxton is probably the most overtly political of the three of them, although Icon is too. Anyway, What Did You Learn in School Today? And he must have written this for his kid, because it's actually What Did You Learn in School Today, Dear Little Boy of Mine, and I've changed it to child because I have a daughter. What did you learn in school today, dear little child of mine? What did you learn in school today, dear little child of mine? I learned that Washington never told a lie. I learned that soldiers seldom die. Learned that everybody's free, and that's what the teacher said to me. That's what I learned in school today. That's what I learned in school. What did you learn in school today, dear little child of mine? What did you learn in school today, dear little child of mine? I learned that policemen are my friends. I learned that justice never ends. Learned that murderers die for their crimes, even if we make a mistake sometimes. That's what I learned in school today. That's what I learned in school. What did you learn in school today, dear little child of mine? What did you learn in school today, dear little child of mine? I learned that our government must be strong. It's always right, never wrong. Our leaders are the finest men, and we elect them again and again and again and again. And that's what I learned in school today. That's what I learned in school. What did you learn in school today, dear little child of mine? What did you learn in school today, dear little child of mine? I learned that war is not so bad. I learned about the great ones we have had. We fought in Germany and in France. Someday I might get my chance. That's what I learned in school today. That's what I learned in school.
That was one that was on our Victrola regularly. Some record that had a bunch of songs like that. Tom Paxton. I can't remember where the record was, but that was part of my youth, just listening to that.
Yeah,
all the time.
that's great. It's a good song.
Maybe I'll play the Aya song.
Oh yeah,
my
do Aya. Yeah. That's a really nice song.
This was a Bob Marley song. Bob Marley throwaway song, frankly. He could have written this in his sleep, and probably did in a near sleep state. But because Kaya, it's called Kaya, and that's a word for marijuana, apparently, I'm told. But my oldest granddaughter's name is Aya, and when she heard it, because she heard Jamaican music, because her mother's Jamaican Puerto Rican, she thought they were singing to her. And she's in kindergarten now, and occasionally they film her, and she always has to do a sign off to all her fans out there, because she doesn't know the difference between them recording a little video and something being up on the internet. Got to have Aya now. Got to have Aya now. When the rain is falling. When the rain is falling. Wake me up and turn me loose. When the rain is falling. so high, even touch the sky above the falling rain. Feels so good in my neighborhood. Well, here I come again to have iron now. Got to have iron now. Got to have iron now. When the rain is falling, when the rain is falling, wake me up and turn me loose. When the rain is falling, wake me up and turn me loose. When the rain is falling, got to have iron now. Got to have iron now. Got to have iron now. When the rain is falling, when the rain is falling.
I love that song, John. John, that's really nice. That's really good.
That's fun. I've got to get them. Their mother has a guitar, but they don't play it enough. But my son's a percussionist, and he does play hand drums. They hear that. They're around music all the time.
Yeah, it's the first song I sang, "Welcome to the World." It has the end of the verses, and may your nights be filled with song.
Yeah.
And I think, oh, that was a good wish for Emily. Maybe not forever, but for a lot of her childhood, she had that. All right, I'm going to do my other political song.
All right.
That I did. I have to just retune my D string to do a drop D.
Ooh. Fancy. I can just play the upper.
You can just play the
strings.
upper.
They won't care.
I don't. Yeah. So this song, it's "Christmas in the Trenches." It's a John McCutcheon song, and it's a song that I really wanted to learn. So I just started to play it for Emily, because I played every night. So I'd play it again and again and again. 4 or 5
She was a
times
captive
a week.
audience.
She was a captive audience.
That's what
and so I thought this is for me, until one night when she said, "Daddy, play Francis Tolliver," which you'll see from the first line of the song is this song. And then I realized that this was the song that she went to sleep to all the time. So, I'd play for 25 minutes, and when I got so tired I could barely keep my eyes open, I would play this song, and then she'd fall asleep, and then I could leave. So anyway, the song is a wonderful political song, and, we did Martin Luther King Day sings, starting in 1983, and I'd make up songbooks, and for the first couple of years I just did words, and then I did a sort of a cover page, and the cover page that I did, I'd always put some line from some song, and the first one that I did was a line from this song, "On both ends of the rifle were the same." So anyway, it's really a nice song.
And a true story.
It's a true story.
Based on a true story.
It's based on a true story, yeah. And actually, there's a movie that's out. It's called Joyeux Noël, which is French for Merry Christmas. But it's about this exact thing where the Germans and the English were just shooting at each other, and Christmas comes, and they decide we're not going to do this on Christmas, and they get together and they do stuff, and it wasn't the thing was the little extras that came with the movie version that we got. It apparently happened a lot, and both high commands were not happy with it, so they sent people off to Russian front and wherever. Anyway, this is Christmas in the Trenches. It's Emily's going to sleep song. Oh, my name is Francis Tolliver, come from Liverpool. 2 years ago the war was waiting for me after school. To Belgium and to Flanders, to Germany to here, I fought for king and country I loved dear. 'Twas Christmas in the trenches where the frost so bitter hung. The frozen fields of France were still, no Christmas songs were sung. Our families back in England were toasting us that day. They're brave and glorious lads so far away. I was lying with my messmates on the cold and rocky ground, when across the lines of battle came a most peculiar sound. Says I, now listen up me boys, each soldier strained to hear, as one young German voice sang out so clear. He's singing bloody well, you know, my partner says to me. Soon one by one each German voice joined in harmony. The cannons rested silent and the gas clouds rolled no more, as Christmas brought us respite from the war. Now as soon as they were finished and a reverent pause was spent, God rest ye merry gentlemen, struck up some lads from Kent. Oh, the next they sang was Stille Nacht, 'tis silent night, says I. In 2 tongues one song filled up that sky. There's someone coming towards us, the front line sentry cried. All sights were fixed on one lone figure trudging from their side. His truce flag like a Christmas star shone on that plain so bright, as he bravely strode unarmed into that night. Soon one by one on either side walked into no man's land. With neither guns nor bayonets we met there man to man. We shared some secret brandy, wished each other well, and in a flare-lit soccer game we gave 'em hell. We traded chocolates, cigarettes, and photographs from home. These sons and fathers far away from families of their own. Young Sanders played his squeeze box, they had a violin. This curious and unlikely band of men. Soon daylight stole upon us, and France was France once more. With sad farewells we each began to settle back to war. But the question haunted every heart that lived that wondrous night: whose family have I fixed within my sights? 'Twas Christmas in the trenches where the frost so bitter hung. The frozen fields of France were warmed, songs of peace were sung, for the walls they'd kept between us to exact the work of war had been crumbled and were gone forevermore. Oh, my name is Francis Tolliver, in Liverpool I dwell. Each Christmas comes since World War I, I've learned its lessons well, that the ones who call the shots won't be among the dead and lame, and on each end of the rifle we're the same.
That song has such impact in a world that, of course, has a number of wars going on, but in particular the heavy armaments used in Ukraine. I think so. I don't forget. I'll play the song from my daughter.
Okay, yeah.
Was born in 1986, so I don't know what that makes her, but whatever it is, 30 something. And this is written for her, and the second verse about her being born. She, as my then wife was giving birth, all the monitors went to zero on the child, and so they did an emergency C-section. I was hustled out, and then I was in a room, a waiting room, and it was in, like a nursery room, and the doctors were working on my daughter, and there was this sort of annoying radio in the background, and I thought, why aren't they playing just like music? This is like an all news station. They're talking about that time in Cape Canaveral when the spaceship blew up on the pad. It was the Challenger had gone up that day, and at almost the same moment my daughter was born, the Challenger blew up. So
I actually know what I was doing that day. I was in court in Augusta that day.
Yeah, there was a teacher from New Hampshire was on the flight.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's. Let me see how it starts. Sleepyhead stays in bed all the live day long. The sun comes up, her eyes she shuts, dreaming on and on. When you wake in the morning, time just slips away, B minor. Rise and face the brand new day. As I watch you play, my heart it feels at peace, and I wonder if wonders ever cease. That winter morn, when you were born, the sky was frozen blue. You stopped to wait at heaven's gate. So glad you made it through. 'Cause when you wake in the morning, time just slips away. Rise and face the brand new day. As I watch you play, my heart it feels at peace, and I wonder if wonders ever cease. Now you're grown, you're on your own hopes and dreams. Wish that I could tell you why, and all the things I've seen. 'Cause when you wake
nice song, Judd.
That's from my daughter.
Yeah, I wish I wrote as many songs as you have. I don't write any songs at all, hardly.
You do write some songs.
Yeah,
but
not very many though.
those, children are great inspirations, particularly when you're a parent.
Yeah, absolutely. I just have one more that I really wanted to do, and I don't know if you have more.
No, that's it for me.
Okay, this is a song that's actually Emily and I started singing together after she was older. So I think we started singing it when she was in high school. It's a Bob Franke song, and Bob Franke is another one of these people who write really nice songs that nobody has ever heard of. So we'll do an episode where we talk about songs from people that nobody's ever heard of.
We love and no one knows.
Anyway, this is called "Beggars to God." I think it's somehow about marriage. I think that I've actually seen him, and I think he said that this was a song he wrote for somebody's marriage. Anyway, I don't see how it is, but Emily really, well, I don't know if she still does, but she really did like this song, and whenever we'd get together to sing, we'd end with this song, so it's sort of an appropriate ending for us. The song of Gypsy Davy ran delighted through the night. The wise and foolish virgins kept their candles burning bright. Rise up, you young and foolish ones, and follow if you can. There'll be no need for candles in the arms of such a man. Make love to each other, be free with each other, be prisoners of love till you lie in the sod. Be friends to each other, forgive one another, see God in each other, be beggars to God. Oh, the night was cold and dark and wet as they wandered on alone. The sky became their canopy, the earth became their throne. And as their raiment ran to rags, they thought it nothing wrong. For earth and sky are robe enough when you sing the gypsy song. Make love to each other, be free with each other, be prisoners of love till you lie in the sod. Be friends to each other, forgive one another, see God in each other, be beggars to God. Oh, they sang and played the gypsy song wherever they were sent. To some it seemed a dancing tune, to some a sad lament. But in every heart that heard it true, a tear became a smile, and a pauper or a prince became a gypsy for a while. Make love to each other, be free with each other, be prisoners of love till you lie in the sod. Be friends to each other, forgive one another, see God in each other, be beggars to God.
Beautiful.
All right.
That's a great rousing song.
Good song to end with.
Yes.
Okay, did we decide what we're going to do next time?
No, but we can do
Let's do civil rights songs next time.
Yeah, okay, we'll do civil rights and other songs of social protest.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good. Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks, Karen.